Boy, last night was a good one, wasn't it? And we are activated. We are rolling out tonight. We are getting ready for chapter 6. I'm saying 6 through 8. Yesterday we said 4 through 6. We did 4 and 5. So today we're saying 6 through 8, but let's just kind of see how it goes. All right? So you guys were watching in the other room last night, right? Yeah. All right, tell me, what do you remember from yesterday? What stuck out to you from yesterday?
That people were going to start giving birth to monsters.
And then how they're going to eat them.
Okay.
People.
What?
How the monsters are going to eat other people.
Okay. That when the time comes, right? For, I'm not going to say the justification of his people, but when the time comes for his people to be restored, we are going to see a whole lot more than what, put your legs down, a whole lot more than what the 66 books said, right? And some of it, you got to be mature in order to understand and in order to know, right? And as I always say, go back and watch from yesterday if you did not see, so you can be brought up to speed, right? I think as a family, the same way that we be checking out Pastor Omar, the same way we be checking out Pastor Darby, we be feeding on the word through him, is the same way we are going to start watching from the day before as well, all right? Because yesterday's message was something that's going to take some time in order to properly digest, okay? But so many people, they go off well, there's going to be earthquakes, there's going to be rumors of wars and wars, but we were given more than that yesterday about what is to come, right? That there's going to be signs that's, there is no way to mistaken what time it is. But we also read from the day before that although when it's time for us to be restored, can't nobody stop it, right? And I always remember this line from the 66 books. And it says that it's not because of us that he's going to restore us, but actually it's in spite of us. So even though we will not fully return unto him, he will automatically activate and restore us. We also learned that he's not waiting for us to do something in order to be restored. That actually he has a time system, a time clock that is set up. And the way he broke it down to us is that the world itself has a certain weight that it must achieve. And once it hits that weight, what will be released that is in it will be, or what is in it will be released. Yes.
In the phrase weight, does that mean like that?
How much you weigh?
Yes.
Yes. That's what it means. Right? Because he also gave us a deeper understanding about the relationship between us and the earth itself, right? So I highly suggest that if you did not show up for Bible study yesterday, go and feed on that, because you're definitely going to need it. Now we're rolling chapter 6, verse 1. Tonight we're going to see how far that we get, but we're going to dive into it. And man, we're going to just put all of our trust and faith in the Holy Ghost, and we're going to roll with it, all right? All right. So let's go. And it says verse 1. And he said unto me in the beginning. Now before we roll, what's happening right now? Ezra has just asked the Most High a bunch of questions. Yeah. And the Most High answered him. Right? And after the Most High answered him, Ezra was like, well, Parker, how you doing? Ezra was like, well, can you tell me, has more time is there more time left in the world than from the time of the beginning? Basically, from where Ezra is right now in the story or in the word, he's saying that from the beginning of time to where he's at living right now, it has more time passed than what is left with it for the world to still be here. And then Ezra even asked, well, will I see it? Right? And Uriel, the archangel, what did he tell him? He said, look, man, if you're going to be here, I can't tell you that. But what I can tell you is what's coming, right? And so this is where we are at, all right? This is the answer. And let me take a look at the end of 5. Because we want to get this right. So Ezra asked the Most High, and now this is the response from the Most High. And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightning, or ever the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the expanse were named, or ever the chimneys in Zion were hot, and e'er the present years were sought out, and are ever the inventions of them that now sinned were turned, before they were sealed, that have gathered faith for a treasure. Then did I consider these things. The Most High is saying that before everything, Nancy, what's going on? Before everything that you can conceive and think of, the Most High took into consideration everything that would happen. You understand? We normally say before the foundations of the world, but the Most High took it even deeper here, right? All right. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Verse 6 of chapter 6 gives you confirmation of who Christ is. Because the Word was with God, but the Word was God. And here the Most High is saying there was none other but Him. So we can, for those who are still trying to figure out and understand, well, how can Christ be God? Listen, man, what did He tell us yesterday? He said that we will never figure Him out. His ways are higher than us to the point to where you might as well stop even attempting to figure Him out. Either you believe or you don't. Verse 7, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? And when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follows? Isn't this what everybody wants to know? Verse 8, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. The hand of man is betwixt, or between, the heel and the hand. Other question, Ezra, ask you not. So we got basically the same answer as he gave. He said, look, you're going to be right on the heels of the destruction of Esau. As they are being destroyed, you will be coming into power. Do you understand? Do we have, is this finally the answer to the question? As they are going through their destruction, you will be grasping on the heel of them. So as they are pulled out, you are there coming in. You understand? 11. I answered then and said, O Yahuwah Adonai, if I have found favor in your sight, I beseech you, show your servant the end of your tokens, whereof you showed me part the last night. So he answered and said unto me, stand up upon your feet and hear a mighty sounding voice. And it shall be as it were a great motion, but the place where you stand shall not be moved. And therefore, when it speaks, be not afraid, for the word is of the and the foundation of the earth is understood. And why? Because the speech of these things trembles and is moved, for it knows that the end of these things must be changed. And it happened that when I had heard it, I stood upon my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spoke. and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh, and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. And I will begin to make inquisition of them. Would they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion should be fulfilled? And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The Sephirim, or the text, the writings, shall be opened before the expanse, and they shall see all together. And the children of a year old, listen. Yeah, another one. Listen to this one, okay? And it says that, and the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. So he's saying that one of the signs of the Most High getting ready to appear, him getting ready to hit the scene, him coming, is 1-year-old baby's going to start talking. Clear. Not no bad, none of that. Talking. Also, women that are only 3 and 4 months old will start to give birth. Anybody that knows the physiology of what it takes for a child to grow over the 9 months, they know at 3 to 4 months years old, that's not even completely formed a baby yet, right? But they're going to be giving birth, and they shall live and be raised up. So it's not going to be miscarriages. They're going to be giving birth at 3 and 4 months, and they're going to live and survive. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, and the shofar shall give a sound, which when every man hears, they shall be suddenly afraid. We will hear the trumpets or the shofar. Remember when it said that Ezra was living in the time right before the third shofar was getting ready to be blown, and that he may even live into the time of hearing the third shofar? So we know that at the time of Ezra is when the third trumpet was getting ready to sound. Right?
Did the Lord do the trumpet?
Well, when we get into Revelations, whenever that's opened up to us, we will then have a better understanding of that as far as for you guys. Because you guys, I've never read Revelations with you, right? Right. So once we get into that, you'll understand the 7 trumpets and what each trumpet means. But this is for our readers, our studiers, so you have a clear understanding that at the time of Ezra, the third trumpet was getting ready to be blown. Okay? And we are well over 2,000 years past that. All right? And at that time, shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Means that rivers and whatnot, that's it. They're not moving, they're standing still. Whosoever remains for all these that I have told you shall escape and see my salvation. The translation is salvation, but what does it say? It says, Yeshua, which is abstract, deliverance, victory, aid, prosperity, salvation. This is the word that it has right there. And the end of your world. And the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth. And the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which has been so long without fruit, shall be declared. And when he talked with me, behold, I looked by little and little upon him before whom I stood. And these words said he unto me, I am come to show you the time of the night to come. If you pray yet more and fast 7 days again, I shall tell you greater things by day than I have heard. This is where fasting comes in again. For your voice is heard before El Elyon. For El has seen your righteous dealing. He has seen also your chastity, which you have had ever since your youth. So for the children, there's high value in sticking by the Lord and following him since the days of being young. Me and your mother, we got saved when we were a lot older. But you have the true opportunity that from the time of you being a child, for you to continuously follow the Lord. Oh, what type of relationship you could have with him, right? And therefore he has sent me to show you all these things and to say unto you, be of good comfort and fear not. And hasten not with the times that are past to think vain things, that you may not hasten from the latter times. And it came to pass after this that I wept again and fasted 7 days in like manner, that I might fulfill the 3 weeks which he told me. And in the 8th night was my heart vexed within me again, and I began to speak before El Elyon. For my ruach, or my spirit, was greatly set on fire, and my soul was in distress. And I said, O Yahuwah, you spoke from the beginning of creation, even the first day, and thus said, let heaven and earth be made, and your word was a perfect work. And then was the ruach, or the spirit, and darkness and silence were on every side. The sound of man's voice was not yet formed. Then commanded you a fair light to come forth of your treasures, that your work might appear. Upon the 2nd day, you made the ruach of the expanse, the spirit of the expanse, and commanded it to part asunder, and to make a division between the waters, that one part might go up and the other remain beneath. Upon the 3rd day, you did. Move what off screen? Upon the 3rd day, you did command that the waters should be gathered in the 7th part of the earth. 6 parts have you dried up and kept them, to the intent that of these being planted of Elohim and tilled might serve you. For as soon as your word went forth, the work was made. For immediately there was great and innumerable fruit, and many and diverse pleasures for the taste, and flowers of unchangeable colors, the odors of wonderful smell, and this was done the 3rd day. Upon the 4th day, you commanded that the sun should shine, and the moon gave her light, and the stars should be in order. It always blew my mind the way that the Most High said that he had created a light before he created the sun. Right? Because a lot of times we think when he said, let there be light, that was the sun. But no, he goes on, and then later he says how he created the sun and the moon, one for the day and one for the night, to separate the day and the night. Right? But his ways are so much higher than us, it shouldn't really blow my mind that he constantly blows my mind. Upon the 4th day, you commanded that the sun should shine, and the moon give her light, and the stars should be in order, and gave them a charge to do service unto man that was to be made. Upon the 5th day, you said unto the 7th part, where the waters were gathered, that it should bring forth living creatures, fowls and fish. Fowls are birds or creatures that fly. And so it came to pass. For the dumb water and without life brought forth living things at the commandment of Elohim. that all people might praise your wondrous works. What's up? 49. Then did you ordain two living creatures, the one you called Behemoth and the other Leviathan, and did separate the one from the other for the seventh part, namely, where the water was gathered together might not hold them both. Unto Behemoth you gave one part, which was dried up the third day, that he should dwell in the same part wherein are 1,000 hills, meaning that Behemoth lives on land. All right? And he lives in some place where there are 1,000 hills. All right? But unto Leviathan you gave the seventh part, namely the moist, and have kept him to be devoured of whom you will and when. Remember how I said when we read 2nd Baruch that it explains that Leviathan is still alive and he's being held and he's going to be released and used for something in the end?
Yes.
Right?
Is Behemoth still alive?
We don't know if Behemoth is still alive because he's not mentioned again in any of the texts. Right? Okay. 53. Upon the sixth day, you gave commandment unto the earth that before it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things. And after these things, Adam also, whom you made, Adonai, of all your creatures. Of him come we all, and the people also whom you have chosen. All this I have spoken before you, O Yahuwah, because you made the world for our sakes. As for the other nations, which also come of Adam, you have said that they are nothing but be like unto spittle.
What does spittle mean?
Spit. And have likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falls from a vessel. And now, O Yahuwah, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be Adonim, or our masters over us, and to devour us. But we, your people, whom you have called your firstborn, your Yakid, which is Yaknid, your beloved son, and your fervent lover, are given into their hands.
What does fervent mean?
Means someone that you furiously love, someone that, like your mom. You know how you love mama?
Mm-hmm.
Right. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? Now we are, oh, Steve Banno. Maybe today is the day where you get awakened, all right? Now, bonehead, don't make me laugh. Chapter 7, verse 1. Now, basically what Ezra is saying is, remember how I said there's a certain way for you to talk to the Most High? We call it the 4 steps to a prayer, right? Where we said that you come in, you exalt the Most High, right? You acknowledge the things that he's done. You bring into remembrance the great things that he's done, right? You ask for forgiveness. You bless those who are around you, or you seek for a blessing for others. And then last, you ask for something for yourself, right? Well, what did Ezra just do? He just came before the Most High. First of all, he followed instructions. He fasted for an additional 7 days, just like he was told, right? Why was he asked to fast? Well, there must be some reason why an archangel or the Most High would command him to fast in order for him to receive a higher level of knowledge. Remember when we said that fasting is like how you get to walk up the steps and get closer and closer to the king, right? You can get closer to him, right? Because your flesh is what stops you between you and him, right? Because our flesh can't even be in his appearance or close to him. We got to put the flesh under the spirit to be able to approach him. Okay? And this is not me saying this. If you're not getting this from this, well, there ain't really much I can do for you. But we see that Ezra has now put a proposition or a question before the Most High, asking him, how much longer will your people be in the situation that they in? Right? Okay. Verse 1, chapter 7. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the nights afore. And he said unto me, Up, Ezra, and hear the words that I am come to tell you. And I said, Speak on, my Elohim. Then he said unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case of the entrance, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Think about if the sea, instead of it being wide open, what about if it was narrow like a little bitty river to be able to get to the sea, right? Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? There is also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field, and it is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow and set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there was fire on the right hand, and on the left hand a deep water. And there is but one path between them, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but only one man go there at once. Meaning that there's this great city with everything in it you could ever desire and want to have. But there's one path that's extremely skinny. And as you walk down that path, on your right hand is nothing but fire, and on your left hand is a super deep ocean where you'll drown. Right? And the path is so small, only one person, listen to me now, only one person at a time can walk down that path.
Wow.
Listen, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? Meaning that if this was destined for you to have, and it's only one path to get there, and you didn't go through that dangerous path full of all these things that could take you out, then how would you get to that city? Do you get it?
Could you swim through the water?
Couldn't swim through the water.
Why?
Because that's where it's made to where on the right is fire and on the left is water and it's deep, and it's not made for you to swim through it.
What if you do?
Like he said, like this angel said, there is one path to walk into this city. There is, even if you swim, there's no way to get into the city. You get it? You have to walk down this narrow path, and you can't have nobody else with you. Because there's only enough room for one person to make it at a time. You get it? And I said, It is so, Adonai. Then he said unto me, Even so also is Israel's portion. What he has for us has to be achieved one person at a time. It's not something that was ever meant to be opened up to everybody. We was always taught, well, you know, heaven is for everybody. You getting ready to find out. Actually, it's not. And you don't have to like me saying that. Let's just keep reading. And I said, It is so, Adonai. Then said he unto me, Even so also is Israel's portion, because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. When Adam transgressed, the Most High made a narrow path, which only one way in to heaven. And each individual person by theyself has to get it. This is why the Holy Spirit comes to dwell in you, to walk you down that narrow path. Because there's only one who can make it, and that's Christ. So if you don't have him in you, and you don't submit and listen to him, you're not going to make it. You're going to know him, but he ain't going to know you. You get it? This is why we keep saying you got to have that relationship with the Most High. You got to fast so you can hear him. You got to pray so you can talk to him. And you got to read so you get it and people don't confuse you out there in the world that don't have any idea what they're talking about. Verse 12. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. For the entrances of the elder world were made wide and sure and brought in moral fruit. You notice how anybody can have a baby and bring somebody into this world? A man and a woman get together, not even in the natural, even in the scientific, and they can bring any baby into this world. It's wide open for people to come into this world. But it ain't like that for heaven. It is not like that for heaven. So right now, you better make a decision in your life. Forget everybody else. I'm getting there. Because there's only one other option. There's only one other option. That is continuous torment and pain and suffering forever without stopping. Now do you get why Christ came and died? He gave you the cheat code if you will just accept it. But you're going to have to do some things too. You're going to have to pick up your cross, tell yourself no, and do it his way. It can't be about you. Because everybody that's doing themselves, they all are doing the same thing that Satan did. They're making their own choices, they going their own way, and they all going to burn together. But everybody should be happy because now we know the truth. We know that you have the ability to have a relationship with Christ and follow him. You have the ability to have a relationship with Christ and follow him. All of us, we have the ability to follow him, but we got to follow him individually. Daddy love you. And Daddy going to follow the rules, but I cannot bring you, no matter how much I want to, I cannot bring you with me there. You have to make the decision that, all right, Lord, you got the answers to everything. I'm rocking with you. You understand? And the beautiful thing is, you got the possibility to. Remember when the Most High said that we have no idea how much he loves us? When we get into the second Exodus, and you begin to read what he says about the second Exodus, you will realize how much he loves you and why. Just like it said in the second chapter of second Ezra, the heathen will hate you but can't do nothing to you.
Who's the heathen?
The rest of the nations that haven't accepted Christ. Verse 14. If then they that labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. If you don't suffer in this world to do things the way that the Most High wants you to do, you will never receive what he has for you in his kingdom. Now, therefore, why disquiet yourself, seeing you are but a corruptible man? And why are you moved, whereas you are but mortal? Why have you not considered in your mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? Then answered I and said, O Yahuwah Adonai, you have ordained in your Torah that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the wicked should perish. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for wide. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide. And he said unto me, there is no judge above Elohim, and none that has understanding above El Elyon. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the Torah of Elohim that is set before them. For Elohim has given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. The Most High laid it out perfectly clear of exactly what we're supposed to do and what we're not supposed to do. And then he left it in our hands and said, now make your choice. What you gonna do? Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spoke against him and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said to El Elyon that he is not, and knew not his ways. These people were so evil and so wicked, talking about the rest of the nations, that they looked at the teachings of the Most High and said he don't even exist. How many people have you heard say that? But his Torah have they despised and denied his covenants. In his statutes have they not been faithful and have not performed his works. And therefore, Ezra, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things. Remember when Christ said, don't be lukewarm?
What does that mean?
You either all the way with him or you all the way away. There ain't no halfway with him. I'm kind of with him. I'm with him on Wednesdays and Sundays. No, you either with him all the way or you not with him. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told you shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear. This is Christ appearing. And she coming forth shall be seen that now is withdrawn from the earth. And whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders. For my son Yahusha shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years. After these years shall my son Mashiach die, and all men that have life. So he was telling Ezra within 400 years of the time that he was alive, Christ was coming and that he was going to die, but he would be raised again. Right? And all men that, and after these years shall my son Mashiach die, and all men that have life. And the world shall be turned into the old silent 7 days, like as in the former judgments, so that no man shall remain. And after 7 days, the world that yet awakens not shall be raised up, and that shall die that is corrupt. And the earth shall restore those that are asleep in her. And so shall the dust, those that dwell in silence. In the secret places shall deliver those souls that were committed unto it. And El Elyon shall appear upon the seat of judgment. And misery shall pass away. And the long suffering shall have an end. But judgment only shall remain. But judgment only shall remain. Truth shall stand, and faith shall wax strong. And the work shall follow, and the reward shall be showed. And the good deeds shall be of force, and wicked deeds shall bear no rule. Then the pit of torment shall appear, and opposite it shall be the place of rest, and the furnace of hell shall be disclosed, and opposite it the paradise of delight. Listen to this next part. Then El Elyon will say to the nations that have been raised from the dead. He's going to show everybody, heaven and hell. We all going to be standing there. And to one side is going to be heaven, and we're going to be able to see it. And on the other side is going to be hell, and we're going to be able to see that. Then El Elyon will say to the nations that have been raised from the dead, Look now and understand whom ye have denied, whom ye have not served, whose commandments ye have despised. Look on this side and on that. Here are delight and rest, and there are fire and torments. Thus he will speak to them on the day of judgment, a day that has no sun or moon or stars or cloud or thunder or lightning or wind or water or air or darkness or evening or morning or summer or spring or heat or winter or frost or cold or hail or rain or dew or noon or night or dawn or shining or brightness or light, but only the splendor of the glory of El Elyon, by which all shall see what has been determined for them. For it will last about a week of years. This is my judgment and its prescribed order. And to you alone have I shown these things. So now you want to know what's going to happen? You really want to know how it's going to be in the end? You want to know when he's going to come? And you want to know what he's going to do when he's going to come? We all going to see. And when we see, we're standing there and we're seeing heaven and we seeing hell inside, every one of us going to already know where we going. And what he's basically going to tell us is, now look at what you've done to yourself. You had the choice. This is heaven just like I told you it was there. If you would have just listened, you could go. But you chose not. You chose not to believe. You chose not to follow. You chose not to listen. So now look where you going. I answered and said, O Yahuwah Tesova. I said then, and I say now, blessed are those who are alive and guard your commandments. There's a lot of people that's fighting over the commandments. When Christ himself said, I did not come to do away with them, but I came to fulfill them. Do you not know your Bible? The Most High had got to the point to where he had stopped accepting the method of repentance that was originally allowed. And when he stopped accepting that, since he does not go back on his word, he could not then reenact that type of repentance. So therefore he sent his son, which he had already planned to do from before, even before the creation of the world. Of any part of any type of creation, he had already had this plan, that he would send his son and all those that would follow him would have the opportunity to be forgiven from their sins by his blood. That does not then give you the right to do whatever you want to do. You really better check yourself, and you really better think about guarding his commandments, because he's telling you right here, right now. Now, this don't preach well in the church, and you're not going to get a bunch of people that's giving tithes and donations to hearing this, because then they're going to walk about the church and say, well, this is on me. It's all about what I do. They're going to wake up and look in the mirror every single day and say, okay, let's go down this list. What am I supposed to do? If I fail, I know what to do. But it's up to me to give my very best every day. Guard your commandments. Verse 46. But what of those from whom I have prayed? For who among the living is there that has not sinned? Or who among men that has not transgressed your covenant? Now Ezra's getting worried. He's like, well, Lord, I believe you. He's like, but what about for everybody that sinned? Like, because everybody has sinned. What do we do to stop from being tormented? Because we more than willing to follow you. It's just we be failing sometimes. Verse 47. And now I see that the world to come will bring delight to few. but torments to many. So many people think that they can just do whatever they want to do as long as they believe in Christ. And every last one of them going to be tormented. Verse 48. For an evil heart has grown in us all, which has alienated us from Elohim, and has brought us into corruption and the ways of death, and has shown us the paths of perdition, and removed us far from life. And that not just a few of us, but almost all who have been created. He answered me and said, listen to me, Ezra, and I will instruct you and will admonish you yet again. For this reason El Elyon has made not one world, but two. For whereas you have said that the righteous are not many, but few, while the wicked abound, hear this explanation for this. If you have a few precious stones, will you add to them lead and clay? I said, Yahuwah, how could that be? And he said unto me, not only that, but ask the earth. If she will tell you, defer to her, and she will declare it to you. Say to her, you produce gold and silver and brass, and also iron and lead and clay. But silver is more abundant than gold, and brass more abundant than silver, and iron more abundant than brass, and lead more abundant than iron, and there's more of it, and clay more abundant than lead. Judge therefore which things are precious and desirable, those that are abundant and those that are rare. What he's trying to say is that, Ezra, check this out, man. Out of all them people that's been born, you really got to understand that the majority of them were born and created to be tossed. Everybody not diamonds. Everybody not gold and not silver, man. If you want to be a diamond, you have that opportunity. You better check what you do. You better take this thing serious. Them little shows, them conversations, all of them things is putting hooks in you and dragging you to hell. Judge therefore which things are precious and desirable, those that are abundant and those that are rare. I said, oh, Yahuwah Tesova, what is plentiful is less worth, and what is more rare is more precious. He answered me and said, weigh within yourself what you have thought, for he who has what is hard to get rejoices more than he who has what is plentiful. So also will be the judgment which I have promised. For I will rejoice over the few who shall be saved, because it is they who have made my glory to prevail now, and through them my name has now been honored. And I will not grieve over the multitude of those who perish. He said, I will not grieve over the multitude of those who perish, for it is they who are now like a mist and are similar to a flame and smoke. They are set on fire and burn hotly and are extinguished. I replied and said, O earth, what have you brought forth? If the mind is made out of the dust like other created things, for it would have been better if the dust itself had not been born, so that the mind might not have been made from it. But now the mind grows with us, and therefore we are tormented because we perish and know it. Let mankind lament, but let the beasts of the fields be glad. Let all who have been born lament, but let the four-footed beast and the flocks rejoice. For it is much better with them than with us. They do not look for a judgment, nor do they know of any torment or salvation promised to them after death. For what does it profit us that we shall be preserved alive, but cruelly tormented? For all who have been born are involved in iniquities and are full of sins and burdened with transgressions. And if we were not to come into judgment after death, perhaps it would have been better for us. I see you. What's up?
What does grieve mean?
Grieve means great sadness that you feel inside. 70. He answered me and said, we almost done, guys. He answered me and said, when El Elyon made the world and Adam and all who have come from him, he first prepared the judgment and the things that pertain to the judgment. This was already set up before you was even born, created all the world itself. This was always the plan. This was always the plan. And now understand from your own words, for you have said that the mind grows with us. For this reason, therefore, those who dwell on earth shall be tormented, because though they had understanding, although we knew better, they committed iniquity. We still did what was wrong. And though they received the commandments, they did not guard them. And though they obtained the Torah, they dwelt unfaithfully with it, what they received. What then will they have to say in the judgment? Or how will they answer in the last time? What does anybody, is there any of us that's yelling at the screen right now or saying, no, man, you lying? Or are we all sitting here saying, man, he did tell us though. Thank God for this word tonight, because as long as he lets us wake up tomorrow, we still got a chance to make it. For how long the time is that El Elyon has been patient with those who inhabit the world. Y'all better stop asking him to hurry up and come. Remember when he said in the 66 books, why do you search for the last day? For it's going to be like a man escape a bear and get stung or get bit by a snake. Like it ain't going to be no, you don't want to see the last day. For how long the time is that El Elyon has been patient with those who inhabit the world, and not for their sake, but because of the time which he has foreordained. I answered and I said, if I have found favor in your sight, O Yahuwah, show this also to your servant, whether after death, as soon as every one of us yields up his soul, we shall be kept in rest until those times when you will renew the creation, or whether we shall be tormented at once. This is that old question about what happens after you die. I know why they got rid of this book. They couldn't take it. 76. He answered and he said to me, I will show you that also. But do not be associated with those who have shown scorn, nor number yourself among those who are tormented. He's telling Ezra, look, man, I'll tell you, but stop worrying. Stop worrying. Stop thinking that you already lost. Out of all the people on this whole entire earth, how many people are hearing this message and being given a chance to get right? This ain't no accident. Remember, there are no coincidences. Remember, he planned this from the beginning of the... I'm so juiced that we here together and we reading this and we hearing this and we all saying, it's man in the mirror time. I ain't trying to be shady, but I think I might just erase all my contacts. I might put my phone on silent. I don't got time for nobody. This ain't no game. And you know it ain't a game because he said, no, no, no. I'm going to have all y'all standing there and I'm going to show you heaven and I'm going to show you hell. And I'm going to tell you to your face, I'm the one that you said that wasn't real. I'm the one you refused to listen to. You the one that made your choice and you know where you going. He don't send nobody to hell. We send ourselves, don't we? Let's see. We're at verse 77. Gosh, guys. Oh, yeah. It's 140 verses in this. We stopping. We at verse 77. All right, we stopping right here. We've been fed what we need to feed upon. Tomorrow night we'll get dessert. All right. But I want everybody to be excited. Man, good job to you guys being here, man. I want everybody here to be excited that's hearing this word tonight. Because the Most High has ordained for each and every one of us to hear this last call. And say, hey, man, look, before it gets too late, I have chosen y'all to know what I expect of you. Don't be scared. Don't you dare be afraid. Because he's given you the answer. Christ is how we wash our sins clean. Now we just look and see what does he want us to do. And whenever we make a mistake, we go to him. It's simple. Right? So this ain't the time to be afraid, but it is the time to check your inventory. It is the time to stop playing around, man. Stop them conversations talking about everybody. Stop slandering. Stop murdering. People are like, well, I don't murder. You've been murdering people with your mouth. You've been killing them with your mouth. Laughing about it too. Enjoying it. We've all done it. Remember what Christ said, man. He said that when you think it, it's the same as doing it. It's so important for us to have Christ and to truly trust him and believe in him. Because he is literally the only way. It can't be no, I got one arm around Christ, you feel me, but I'm still walking under my own power. Nah. It's only one way to make it to him. You feel me? I'm laughing and I'm smiling because I'm sitting here and I'm saying, if you knew who I was and the things that I was doing, and then to see me now sitting here, delivering this reading and sitting here and saying, so Lord, you telling me that you want to save us? I got all my children here right now listening. My wife here right now listening. I'm saying you gave us the message? You had a list of names. And on that list of names is the people that's on this live right now, those that's going to watch it in the future, and the ones that's in this room. Don't you dare ever believe that he did not try everything he could to save you. Normally we talk about how to have a relationship and all of that. This message was enough. I'm all out. This is all I got. Y'all have a great night. Be back here tomorrow at 8 p.m. Share this with somebody. And never forget that God loves you, man. He made it very simple tonight for us to understand. He's done everything that he was supposed to do to get us to him. If we look at him and say, nah, man, I'm cool, then that's on you.